This is the first time we're doing this live stream, and we're going to make it through to the end. Hey everyone, my name's Gabby.
And I'm Connor.
And this is the 2025 Kia Seltos in the SX trim level right behind us. And let me tell you, this vehicle gives you more power, more tech at a great price point. And Connor, why is that?
Because, well, for one, it's a Kia.
Because.
But actually, I have no idea why. But the Kia Seltos is a great vehicle. It's packed with tons of features, and we're going to get into it today.
Yeah, so a full live stream walkthrough of everything there is to know about this vehicle, everything that comes in this trim level, and of course the price point, powertrain, and everything you guys ask. Because this is a live stream, there's actually a live Q&A chat where you guys can let us know what questions you have, and we can see them and answer them. Now, without further ado, let's get into it.
Again.
So this one is priced at $36,845 Canadian, and that is the MSRP price. So depending on what province you live in, of course, that's subject to taxes and fees. Now, this specific vehicle, it's one trim level below the very top trim, and you don't lose out on any tech or safety getting this trim, even though it's not the highest. The only thing you're going to add on if you go up one level is design elements, a blacked out element with the exclusive wheels, but everything you need is probably in here, and I'll show you why. We'll first start off with the design cues, so let's take a look at this grille. The grille itself is a nice gloss black finish, and integrated in the very center is going to be your front radar sensor or radar plate that's going to monitor what's happening to the vehicle ahead of you. Now, if you are on the highway, this vehicle does have highway drive assist, essentially meaning it knows the speed limit of the highway that you're on, if there's any curves upcoming, and it'll keep you at a safe distance from the car ahead of you and pay attention to the speed limit changes. It's essentially a smart cruise control, but a little bit smarter. And don't you worry, we still have traditional smart cruise control with stop and go, and forward collision avoidance assist that will work at intersections for pedestrians, cyclists, and of course other automotive vehicles. Around your front grille is a beautiful satin chrome design piece. It wraps around everything and even makes its way towards your actual headlight unit. And if you didn't tell already, these are LEDs. They are extremely, extremely bright. And you also have these beautiful daytime running lights that expand into the grille itself, giving you a little bit more of a modern and bold look. I really do like the look of the Seltos. It's fun, and this was updated for the 2024 model year, which is of course carried over to this year. We also have some body color just along here, and some nice black and silver painted skid plates. Whew, today is not my day. I'm missing Charlotte. If you guys are wondering why Connor's here, that's why. It's okay, we still love Connor and he does a great job. And he also knows these vehicles really, really well because he works in the service and parts department. Or worked in service, now he's in the parts department. Now under the hood, this vehicle has a specialized powertrain. This is gonna be your introductory trim to the turbocharged engine. So it's gonna utilize a 1.6 liter turbo. It's a gasoline direct injection. Hold on, let me prop this up. Prop arm. I would say I would love a hydraulic lift, but either way, it's okay. You get 195 horsepower with 195 pound-feet of torque. And while these aren't crazy, crazy numbers, let's keep in mind that this is a compact SUV. Now, this is certainly a power increase compared to the trim levels below it that utilizes a naturally aspirated 2-liter. The trims below are going to have 147 horse with 132 pound-feet of torque. So this jump is something you definitely notice driving both back to back. I personally do prefer this powertrain just because I love the feel of a turbo and I am not opposed to increased power, but you also don't lose a lot when it comes to the fuel efficiency. This vehicle is rated at 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, and that's not bad at all. For your transmission, it's an 8-speed automatic, and that is just a smooth shifting traditional automatic, no CVT, no dual clutch anymore. They axed that for the 2024 model year, and now it's just nice, smooth, and simple. All right, so let's talk about the wheels. Connor, what do you think of these wheels?
I'm loving them. I kind of like how it's like almost like a black regular spoke, and then they've added kind of like these like milled, you know, like accents.
Machine finish.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
It's very, very nice. These are 18-inch alloys. They are exclusive to the SX trim level. And again, if you do go up one trim level up, you'll still have the same alloy size, but they're going to be a blacked out wheel, so you're not missing out on wheel size by any means. The Seltos is all-wheel drive if you do get the SX trim level, and it does have a front-wheel drive bias, so hence the fuel efficiency of this vehicle. If it's a regular day like today where there's no rain, not driving on any gravel, anything like that, it's going to be primarily front-wheel drive and will only kick power to the rear upon startup. So if you're flooring it at a green light or if you enter a gravel road, then the vehicle will sense a little bit more power is needed to the rear and apply power to the rear axle. It's very simple. It does a lot of the work for you, but if you want, there is a locking differential inside to manually distribute that torque. Very nice. Your front brakes are of course going to be larger and they are a ventilated disc. Your rear brakes are just a solid disc and they are a tad bit smaller. Your rear suspension is pretty special. It's a multi-link independent rear. Just quite nice to have. And the handling of this vehicle is very nice. I would say if you are someone who lives in the city, this is a fantastic SUV option because it turns on a dime, it's easy to park, and it's not fuel hungry. All right, right up at the top, we do have some nice roof rails. Again, kind of tying in with the rest of the design we see on this vehicle, you get black, and then you get some of that satin chrome. It looks good, a mix of the dark and the light, and it complements this color very well. Connor, what are your thoughts on this color?
I personally love this color. What is
Different.
it? Fato blue?
Pluton blue.
Pluton blue, something like.
Yes. I think it's like a robin's egg blue.
I personally love it.
Yeah.
It shows up a little bit different on camera, but not much. I'm liking it. Yeah.
It's definitely different in person. There is a little bit of metallic in the paint. We'll definitely never pick it up on camera because our quality just isn't that good, but nonetheless, it's a very nice paint color. One more thing I'll highlight about the side of the vehicle before we move our way to the back is the door handles. So it may not look like they're proximity entry, but they are. We don't have the button anymore. Instead, you simply put your hand behind the handle. That will unlock the car for you, as long as the key's on you, that is. And then to lock it once you're done, you'll just press on the indent over here, and your car is all nice and locked. This is really great in Canada where we wear multi-layers in the winter because it gets really cold, and then you never know what layer your key's in. As long as the car knows it's there, you can get in and out very simply. The back end of this car, it's still very similar to the previous body style of the Seltos, but we have one big change. This taillight expands all the way across. It's wide, it's bold, and it is an LED. You have your rear wiper placed in the very center. If there's one thing I could change about this vehicle, I would try my best to hide the rear wiper under the rear spoiler just to clean up the look. But hey, I don't build these cars, I just talk about them. You also have a high-mounted stop lamp, a little bit of an overhang on your spoiler up there, which is body color too. Shark fin antenna up at the top, and let's take a look down here. So just like what we had in the front, your skid plate is going to be a mix of black with some, again, of that silver painted color. Some nice gloss black along your rear bumper too, just to add a little bit of darkness in here, and then Seltos along the left side. I like the way our badging looks now. In the past, sometimes our badges, some of them were black, some of them were dark gray, and it was just all a mess. Now everything seems to be in the same material, and it looks very good. All right, I mentioned a lot of tech. Here's my favorite thing, power liftgate. So this vehicle does have a power liftgate. It is actually starting on the trim level below this, but carries over to the SX and above trims. This can be used in either one of two ways, but technically 4 ways. So you have a button on your key fob that allows you to power open it, or you can of course press the liftgate itself or inside the cabin. But did you know you could also just walk up to your vehicle quite simply, stand here for 3 seconds, and it'll power open? This really helps you if you are carrying some sort of heavy cargo and don't want to lose your balance by kicking your leg underneath or fumble for your keys. It just opens up for you, allowing you to throw your stuff in there no problem. Now before I throw my stuff in there, I'll have Connor showcase what we're looking at for space. So right now I have the floorboard lowered to its lowest setting, which gives us quite a bit more extra cargo space. I don't have the exact liter capacity off the top of my head because I'm not a robot, but there is quite a difference, and you can see it right over here. So Connor, I'll have you come a bit closer. This is where the floorboard would normally sit, so it'd sit just flush on there, and we've got about that much space. And I have big hands right over there. Underneath it, you do have a compact spare tire, which is great to have on the go, especially if you are someone who commutes quite often or just drives on questionable roads. There's a lot of construction where I live, and knock on wood, I've never had to, but it would be nice to have a spare. The vehicle also does come with a cargo cover on the SX trim level, which is quite nice and is completely removable. You can even store it underneath the floorboard if you don't want it, but you want to have it on you at least. All right, anything you want to point out about the rear, Connor?
I'm loving the fact that it comes with a spare tire. Half our cars don't even come with one.
Yeah, that's true. Anything in the compact segment is very, very slowly starting to get rid of their spares, and that's simply because 1, weight reduction, 2, cost savings, and 3, if you are blessed with something in your tire, they do give you mobility kits, and that is essentially going to get you back up on the road much quicker, and a lot of people don't know how to change a spare tire anyway, so they want to minimize the amount of time you're spent on the side of the road. However, if you experience a complete blowout, what are you going to do with a mobility kit? There's nothing you can do with a mobility kit. Anyway, let's get back to the Seltos. For your fuel door, it is a 50-liter tank, which is quite cheap to fill, not that expensive, and it's regular unleaded fuel, so you don't need anything premium, even though it is a turbocharged engine. Another bonus is, like I said, cheap to fill, and like I said earlier too, I believe I mentioned this, it's 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Count how many times I said, like I said. Please don't. All right, we'll open up the door, and Connor will give you guys a quick glance on the interior.
Bose
Now,
sound system?
Yes,
All
Bose, and
right.
that starts on this trim level. So if you are a fan of a premium sound system, this is the trim to get, but that's not the only tech upgrade you get on the SX. Another thing is going to be the heads-up display, which I'll show once I take a seat. But let's focus on the door a little bit more. I just want to highlight the speakers. So I always mention this on the Seltos, but the speakers do have quite a fun design.
I love it.
You also get memory seats, so 2 different buttons, but you actually have 4 different saves, which is quite cool. We have done a video on that explaining how that works, because it is a little confusing. Mirror controls, window controls, all the basics. This vehicle does actually have a fuel door release instead of just pushing on the fuel door. So there's that. And then on the left side over here, we have some quick controls for your brightness, your heads-up display, so if you'd like to summon it on or shut it off, your lift gate, and your traction control. Now I'll quickly hop in and show you guys what the seating configurations look like. So power seats for the driver, you get your bottom adjustment, and you can even change the height and the angle with this. You have the backrest, and you have lumbar support. It's 2-way lumbar support, but let me tell you, if you got back pain, trigger this with a heated seat, you're cured. Promise you that. I'm gonna take the camera from Connor and have him join me in the passenger seat, and let's summon this heads-up display. So we're gonna press this button here. This is actually, I always feel like a superhero when this happens. But there we go. So it's projected onto the screen there. It gives you the speed limit of the road that you're on, which in the Brantford Kia studio is not disclosed. And then we also have our lane system, and then the current speed that we're driving at. So of course it'll be 0 right now, but when you are on the road, that will of course adjust. Very easy to get rid of this if you're not a fan of it. I will say for heads-up display, if you do wear polarized lenses, it's not exactly visible all the time, so you might not even know your car has it if you're always wearing your sunglasses driving. Steering wheel is nice. It's actually very special on the SX model because it is a D-cut or flat bottom steering wheel to add to that sporty flair. Completely heated, and when I say completely, a lot of manufacturers only heat certain touch points, but ours goes all the way around, so no matter how you like to drive, your hands will be nice and toasty. The left side has your volume, media, and voice commands. You even get a favorite button that you could preset to do whatever you'd like, so if you want quick access to maybe Bluetooth audio, or if you want to make this an end call button, that's completely up to you. It's very personalized. Then on the right side, you have your driver's controls and safety functions. So we have our smart cruise control. I can turn it on there, set the speed, and set the following distance. And this will automatically transform into highway drive assist if the road that we're on is a highway. So smart cruise control in the city, highway drive assist in the highway. To the left of that, we have our steering assistance. So this utilizes a camera in your windshield to monitor what's happening on the road ahead of you, and your car will actually give steering input. Now, if I had to avoid something on the road, let's say there was a garbage can that rolled over, I could actually use my force to avoid it, and the car will still listen to me. So it's not completely taking over the steering of your vehicle, it's just assisting you, and it's a gentle assistance. You also get a beautiful, fully digital display. It's 10¼ inches, and it is customizable. So depending on the drive mode that you're on, you'll have different views. However, it's still fairly simple in the sense that it's giving you everything you need to see at a glance. So speedometer on the left, tach on the right, you get your temperature. It'll give me that constantly. Let me just reset that and get rid of it. Fuel gauge is going to be on the left with your distance to empty. So on a full tank, we're just under 600 kilometers on a 50-liter tank. And in the very center, you can change what view you're looking at. So maybe it'll be better if I grab this. So check it out. Head on, in the very center, you can cycle between your lane menu, your drive info, which will give you your fuel consumption and your kilometers, your navigation. If I did have a route set, it would show my turn-by-turn here. And then on the next page, we have our all-wheel drive torque distribution and our tire pressure monitor. This little icon here is, again, your speed limit, so if you don't want to look at it on your heads-up display, you do have it on the gauge cluster. Beautiful. All right. And we're blessed with another 10¼ inch display. Both of these screens will start on the trim level below, but it's only amplified on the SX, you guys. There is built-in navigation and maps, of course. You also have Sirius XM, and here's one of my favorite things, especially tied to the premium sound system. It's very nice that we do have ambient lighting. So this isn't just your traditional ambient lighting, it is a sound mood lamp. So we've had this first introduced on the Kia Soul, and essentially the music will beat with the lights, or the lights will beat with the music. So if you're playing some like heavy metal, it's a party in here. If you're playing something smooth and classical, it's a little bit, it just adds to the vibe of the vehicle. It's something fun. Is it a feature that's a must-have? Maybe, but it's
Absolutely.
just absolutely. I'm not buying the car unless it has an active sound mood lamp. But it is something that is fun, so I do like it. HD radio data, it has a Doppler radar. It'll let you know if there's any accidents, whatever's happening around you kind of thing. And then under setup, you can make this vehicle even more so you by customizing the safety settings, changing things to how you like it, and turning systems on or off. So it's a very, very customizable and user-friendly car. I will say, if there's ever something you can't find, there is the search icon here where you can type in, what should we type in? Sound mood lamp. And it'll take me there. Or to all the sound things. Very nice. All right, below that we have some vents and our hazards, and then all of your climb controls. This is fabulous because it's actual touch buttons.
And knobs.
Exactly, yeah. Something I will say, a lot of manufacturers, they want screens everywhere. Screens are great, but they're one of the things that ages your car so quickly. So it's nice to have simple, kind of timeless screens in this vehicle and physical buttons. Physical buttons are also very easy to use in the winter when you might be wearing gloves inside your vehicle, or maybe your fingers are just really, really cold that you can't seem to stay still with your screen. So you got your temperature control here with an automated climate button, your fan direction, and then of course your fan speed and recirculated or fresh air. You do also have physical buttons for quick things like your map. So if I give that a push, it'll take me right up to my map on my main control. So just to minimize scrolling through screens, of course, while you're driving. You already have screens all the time at home. You don't need it in the car too. Below that, you do have a wireless phone charger. So if you ever forget your cord, you're okay. There's also a USB, a USB-C, and even a 12 volt. The Seltos is, again, still one of my favorites because it utilizes a traditional gear shifter as well as a traditional automatic transmission. So you put into drive and you're good to go. There's no twisting or dials or buttons. It's fairly simple in that sense, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You got heated and ventilated seats for comfort, and that's going to be for driver and passenger. I mentioned earlier about your locking differential. This is the button to turn it on or off. And then you got your downhill braking assist, heated steering wheel button, and a park view camera. The camera on this vehicle, did you see the bear just completely face down in the back? Hold on, let's turn that back on. Sorry, you guys. After a couple minutes, the car will time out and shut off. But I realized why I wasn't showing the camera. I kept pressing the heated steering wheel button. I'm really good at my job. Anyway, you can see everything that's going on behind you thanks to your backup camera. You don't actually have to physically press this button every time you want to see it. Every time you throw your vehicle in traverse, it comes up automatically. You got 2 cup holders, just your standard holders, an electronic parking brake, auto hold braking function, and here's your key. It's a nice, simple, slim profile key with lock, unlock, your power lift gates, and your hazard button. There is a mechanical key inside in case you ever do get locked out of your vehicle with a dead key fob, and you have remote start integrated into the car, or into the remote as well.
I love that they all come integrated with remote start now.
Yes. All of our push-to-start vehicles now have remote start, and that is a game changer. You could always get aftermarket remote starters, but they never felt as good, and I feel like they were never as simple to use as these. All right, you got your center console here, just a fairly simple console. And then Connor will show our glove box.
Hey, at least it's illuminated. You can actually see what you're looking for in there.
I mean, we already got active sound mood lamp. You think we're not going to have lighting in the glove box? All right, you guys, let's take a look at the sunroof. It's a powered one. So while it is a smaller one, it is still nice. It definitely adds a lot of openness into the cabin. And speaking of openness, I'm not the tallest driver, so I'm not always the best to show this, but let me put, matter of fact, let me put my seat all the way up. I feel like that makes more sense. I was about to put it all the way down. But guys, there's so much headroom. With my seat all the way up and me sitting all the way up, I'll even take the clip out.
Still tons of room.
With the sunroof, I got unlimited headroom. I won't lie. But there's still a really good amount of space here. Obviously, if you're not sitting with the seat all the way up and you're not an overly tall driver, there is a lot of space in this car. I will even say the space between Connor and I is fairly large, fairly great. This is a spacious cabin for a compact SUV. All right, shall we check out the back? Okay. And if I haven't been too clear already about the upgrades that the SX gives you, the major upgrades that are added on from the trim level below are going to be heads-up display, the premium sound system, the, oh my gosh, the wheels. The wheels are another big thing, and of course the turbocharged engine and the automatic transmission. Everything below this utilizes an IVT transmission and naturally aspirated 2-liter. So quite a big difference in powertrain there. Another big thing this car adds on, or big maybe is rain sensing wipers. So the car will automatically distribute the amount of speed for the sensors or the wipers. No one likes struggling to find the proper speed for the wiper blades. Okay, back here, the seats themselves, while they are in a fixed position, you can't actually move or change the angle of recline. They are very, very comfortable. The main seats themselves are wide and they're both heated with 2 different levels of heat. The button is just going to be on the door itself.
I love heated rear seats. That's the best.
They're really nice. So very comfortable cabin for any rear passengers you may be carrying. I'll also point out that there is ventilation back here, so you do have rear air vents. They are center console mounted. 2 USB-Cs for fast charging because we are in 2024. And on the back of the passenger seat, we do have a leatherette pocket. Like I mentioned, both of these 2 main seats are going to be heated, but it's nice that they also carried over the design of the front seats. So you have almost this honeycomb style pattern in them. They have a lot of supports and they are just super, super comfy. If you don't have anybody sitting in the middle, you do have your cup holder or armrest so they can have their beverages and relax a little bit, use it as an armrest and chill out, enjoy the ride. You do also have car seat anchors and top tethers too. Very nice back seat. I will also point out the speakers again, so premium sound system and the funky design carries over to the rear end of the vehicle.
Very geometric.
So geometric. Imagine that with your ambient lighting. This is a fun car. All right, Connor, should we answer some questions?
We should. The chat has been a little bit crazy. I've actually had to delete a couple messages, to be honest with you.
Oh, boy.
But not really many good car questions. Someone mentioned the frunk, which was kind of funny because there's actually an engine in what you call a frunk. But
Yeah.
we'll get a better look at the 1.6 turbocharged engine.
I wouldn't recommend putting anything in there.
You can't see the turbo, but it's tucked in underneath there. But
Oh boy.
not very good questions today, guys, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, there's
There's some horrible ones in there.
some questionable things.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's continue on.
To be honest with you, I think there might have been 1 or 2 actual car questions.
Okay.
And one of them was, does it have the automatic tailgate, which I think you answered.
Yes.
And someone asked if there was wireless CarPlay.
Yeah, wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So we do not have that on the Kia Seltos as of yet, unless you're getting the LX or EX trim level. Anything above the EX is going to have the 10.25-inch display, which does not support wireless connection.
That's kind of funny how they do that, eh?
Yeah, it's I will also say in the past it was kind of implied to us that we may eventually get it with the software update. It's now been confirmed that we won't, so don't don't count on that. But I will say I have wired connection in my car with the same size screen, and I absolutely love it because number one, the connection is so much stronger. I'm someone who gets really annoyed when I go to change. This is such a silly
First world problem.
Yeah, it is such a silly problem. But every time I go to change a song or even hang up a phone call, I don't like how there's a delay with wireless connection. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of a pause in between. And it's not just Kia, it's every manufacturer. I spent last weekend driving Tim's Chevy truck, and that has wireless
thing,
connection.
yeah.
It's the same thing, right? So I like instant, and wired gives you instant. I also think the audio quality is better.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, with a wired connection.
Hello, does this have a surround view camera? No. So the Seltos, as of now, does not have a wired, oh my gosh. The surround view camera in any of their trim levels. They only have a rear-facing camera or backup camera. Is the Seltos hybrid coming in the future? It seems like it will.
That'd be a good. Yeah.
Well, the Kona hybrid is coming, which would make sense if we follow suit for sure. Now, when it's coming, I don't have a date for that. Ian said I don't remember the price. It's priced at $36,895, I believe, Canadian,
Which
or
is, I think
$845.
it's a great price compared to, even other cars. Like I think the Honda Civic is priced closer to 40. And for you can get a compact SUV for, $5,000 less.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Are the ports USB-C or USB-A? So there's one USB-A. The rest are all going to be USB-Cs. There are 3 USB-C ports in the vehicle itself, 2 in the back, 1 in the front, and then a wireless phone charger and a USB-A charger, and a 12 volts. So there are quite a few ways to charge.
Couple different options.
Yeah, you should not have a dead phone in this car. It should be hard. How much is this car in US dollars? I don't know.
I don't know the conversion off the top of my. I know it's $1.36
Well,
Canadian to $1 American dollar.
It's not even that though, because theirs are usually spec differently.
Oh,
So the
true.
exact spec for spec with this kind of equipment, I just don't
It's hard
have
to
that.
say.
Let's see. Does the EX have a 7-speed automatic transmission? No. So all models equipped with the 2-liter engine have an IVT transmission, which uses artificial gear ratio. So not a true like 6, 7, 8 speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all fake. but it's good. It's fuel efficient. Does this have all LED headlights? I missed the beginning of this video. It most certainly does.
Yes.
So positioning lights, daytime running lights, main headlights, even fog lights. I forgot to mention the fog lights on this car. They're all LEDs.
We have a
Hey,
surprise
Charlotte.
guest over here.
Look who it is.
Hi.
She's like, hey.
I don't work here.
We're filming Trunk Talk right now, after. All right, we should probably end off today's video, though, on a happy note. Charlotte here. Thank you guys
way
for
to end it.
watching. Is there anything you want to ask Connor or add?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
Maybe ask more carb-related questions next time.
Yeah,
Real.
maybe not so weird next time,
Yeah.
but
Either way.
we'll see. All right, bye, you guys.